Hello everyone, welcome to 2 on 3D. So if you have not been following the series, this is the second part, or rather the third part, as it includes the correctional part of this tutorial of how to make detailed characters like this into a puppet, an actual puppet that will be used, that you can use very well, that you will like. Puppets with so many features and stuff like that. So this puppet, I'm supposed to make it sit also, supposed to be able to make it to take a mic from maybe the back of his pocket and then put it to his mouth or stuff like that. So I have so much in front of me, and some of them I might not be recording, but I'm recording some of the ones that I believe would really help you. And if you follow this tutorial right, you should be able to produce something like this, or even way better, or produce whatever you want to produce, because this tutorial will be well packed. And I'm about to teach you this time, I'm about to cover the eyebrow just so that you'll be able to make your characters do those emotional triggers like I said in a previous video that I was talking about the corrections, some of the things that the initial guy that worked on this missed. And one of them I spoke about was his brows. He made the character such a way that the character has to rely on the software, so you have to actually turn on camera to be able to manipulate the eyebrow. But now I'm about to teach you a way better method, a method that that uses cycles, and this time it makes it non-destructive. That's the part you need to pick from this method I'm about to teach you. Is a non-destructive method, so it's a method that you can change his eyebrow like with just like 3 buttons. Like, it's so many cycles, but then you could change the eyebrow with like just a few buttons, maybe 3 buttons, or that's after redrawing certain things. So now let's just dive straight into the video. So I want to make this eyebrow. So what I need to do first is, let me just make it straight. So let me just trace over it. And the initial guy who worked on this actually forgot about this, and that's because you cannot, it's intentional, because you actually cannot manipulate shadows in Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Character Animator. You could manipulate the eyebrow, but then if you make another different layer and you make this eyebrow too, it will look very unnatural, and then you have to make the highlight also eyebrow, which will make it look very unnatural. So that is why he eliminated that. But I'm going to work on a method that would actually even include the shadows and the highlights. So let's just draw this, and this is, I'm trying as much as possible not to be very complex with these tutorials, just so that anybody, even if you do not know how to draw, even if you're drawing with your mouse, you should be able to follow and actually do something like this. So let me just paint this, and then now I'm going to use let me draw something like this. Let's make something like this. Okay, this is fine. Let me make it blue and take it down. Maybe something like this. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do here is make the eyebrow straight. So I'm going to be manipulating this. So let's use our puppet tool and then drag this downwards, make this, just make it as straight as you can. I'm going to be redrawing it so it's fine. So this is straight. Okay, maybe this is straight. Okay, this is straight. Nice. Okay, so now the whole idea, what I'm trying to do here is to create a brush. This is a brush. So these are actually drawings that were straight, that were converted into brushes. So now you could select this, and I could literally use a pen tool and draw something like this, and I could select it and turn it into this brush. So I'm making this so that we just have to manipulate just a few areas instead of redrawing the eyebrow in all the positions I'm about to redraw them, make them in. We just need to manipulate a few stops, a few anchor points. So like select this anchor point and then we'll manipulate it, this, then we can manipulate it instead of actually drawing the eyebrow over and over again. So that's just the point of this. So now we have a straight eyebrow. I'm just going to draw it now. Let's redraw. So what I notice is like the eyebrow doesn't have an outline, or am I just the one? Okay, it has an outline, but because it is black, the eyebrow, they made it black, so it's actually not showing. The outline is not showing, but it has an outline. So I'm going to draw the outline and use a different color. So let's draw this. Okay, so let's draw something like this. Something like this. Okay, so now we have our eyebrows, and I'm just going to group them. Group, and maybe make this color a bit like this. Something like this is fine, just so far as it's not black. And then let's paint. Good. So now we have our brows, and I'm going to get rid of this one, the outline, the old version. I'm going to make this transparent, but still I'm going to select both, group them, and now we have an eyebrow that we can convert into a brush. But you cannot convert a live paint into a brush, so you have to expand it. So I'm going to select this and expand, and after that I can select it and come here, select and click Add Brush, and then now we have our brush. So now I could just do something like this to get an angry, and then select, turn it into a brush, and as you can see, not yet incoming. And as you can see, now we're getting something close to an angry, but now we just need to work on it a bit, just something like this. Okay, so something like this. Boom, we have an angry, and you could also duplicate it for here, for this also, this eye too. So that's kind of cool. If I do something like this, as you can see, this is like an angry brow. Very cool. So that's basically what we're going to be doing in this tutorial, and I don't want this tutorial to be very long. I want it to be short as possible so that you can pick stuff from it. So I'm going to do like, I'm going to pick like 2 different brow positions, and let me just pick my own version of brow positions, and then so that you'll be able to know how I did all these other ones. So Control C. I don't have to complete. So this is, I'm making it in two triggers, two layers. So this is angry. So now as you can see, the same thing, it's just 3 points. You just have to move them to get the angry position, to get the angry position. So as you can see, this is angry, and there's an in between before a default. So it's not supposed to just move from there to angry. You put something in between it. So the same thing with the scared. As you can see, this is actually scared. If I turn off the in between, you see he's scared. So it gives the character emotions, stuff that you cannot normally get using the software. So you see that lower eyebrow kind of inquisitive kind of thing. You cannot get this in the software on its own, so you have to do something like this, and it makes your work way better, because if you animate using this method, you will love the animation. So that's basically the same thing I'm going to be doing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the angry eyebrow, and then I'll call it a day, and then I'll do a different tutorial about a different thing, just so that I do not bore you with repetitive stuffs. So let's do the second eyebrow, and if you notice, it's still the same shape, the same everything, but then the only difference that we have from this one is that this is smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this, flip it, and when I flip it, if you notice, what will happen is, okay, this actually works fine. This works fine. So just scale it down, and we have our shape. So this is now angry. As you can see, it's angry. So now I could just group this, select this, and group this, and this is one layer from the angry. So how do I create the in-between? The in-between is really simple. So let's make this one. In-between is extremely simple. One thing that I did not make was the default, which is what I need to make now. So I'm going to duplicate this and actually make a default from it. So a default. The default is okay when nothing is animated. So I'm going to just match it as much as possible to what we have here. So let's make this flat. Let's also make this flat. Let's make this one flat, and then let's try to move them in. So move this here, move this. Just match it as much as you can, and as you can see, there is actually a curve somewhere. So I'm going to do that also. So let's make this like this, so we could do something like this and get that curve. Do something like this and get that curve, and that's it for the default. And this one too, let's just move it in, move this one to this point. I don't know if the scale value is fine. I don't know, I hope so. Just move it as close as you can to what we have, and okay, this is good. So now the shadows, I'm going to eventually work on them, but let's just leave that for now. All we need to do is the angry position, and so you'll be able to understand. So the angry position, the angry pose, all I need to do is duplicate this and take it above. Just maybe lock this, and then you try to take it as close as possible to not as close as possible, like take it closer to like a middle ground of the default. And let's just turn off the default because we can see a default already. So just a middle ground, just get a middle ground kind of thing. So get something like this and like this, and do the same for this. Try to get a middle ground, and to get a middle ground, do not take it to the other point, and just a middle ground is fine, just like this. And now we have this, and then I'm going to group them, and we have angry. Good. So now from a default position, it goes through 2 cycles to get angry, and you see how smooth it looks when you press the trigger. So that's basically it for this tutorial. I hope this was really helpful. Please give us a like, give us a sub. It will help us reach more people, and it will also help us to stay in business and also be able to give you more contents like this in the future. So thank you for watching, and bye for now.